Hi, TAKful Creator here. We are back. Okay, so the last reading was so interesting that I definitely want to see more about at least one of the two energies that was present. So let's tap in. May God the Creator bless us. May God the Redeemer heal us. May God the Holy Spirit enlighten us. Give us eyes to see, ears to hear, and hands to do the work of God. Feet to walk the path of justice, and mouths to preach the good news. May the angel of peace, prosperity, love, and abundance watch over us and lead us to the reign of God. Ashe. Okay, so first and foremost, just a recap. So, for one of the energies was talking about some transition between an SUV and a car. And I really want to look into maybe who that could be about, right? So we're going to get some descriptive cards in a moment. And I also wanted to note that the descriptive cards could seem a bit stereotypical, but that is so that you can get an easy visual in your mind. Okay, so please excuse how stereotypical it is, because I usually like to defy the norm, but in this moment I think it would just be ideal to express my apologies for this in advance. Okay. Another storyline was that there was a young lady getting an abortion because she ended up getting pregnant by someone who was similar to like Peter Griffin, and she didn't. Someone maybe that's too sexual, right? It's someone that wasn't her ideal, and now she has to figure out a pregnancy, and that has to do with someone in the month of May. Maybe the child will be born in May. The child was born in May. The child was conceived in May. One of the parents knows somebody that was born in May, but the month of May is attached to it. Could be an anniversary of the couple, if they are a couple. Gun owner keeps coming out. Okay, so we have naked mole rat, gun owner, passive docile, street smarts, right, boom, facial hair. Okay, so we're just going to drop that in the reading because I'm pretty sure that is tied to something, and we're going to verify with our guides. Guides, guides. I know I say it like guys sometimes, but our guides. Let's see if anything else falls out. Brown eyes, closed off, blue eyes, haircut or fade. Oh, someone with brown eyes is closed off to someone with blue eyes and faded them because they're modest and pure. So that's a beautiful message. Baldy that move. Baldy that it was trying to make, that was trying to put the moves on this individual. So if you're a baldy, excuse, the terminology. If you're a baldy trying to put the moves on someone, don't be hateful. Okay, or you're going to be living paycheck to paycheck because she going to sue you. This person's an outsider, introvert, with big hands. Oh, like me. But it's a queen that fell from grace, unlike me. But the reason why they fell from grace is because they're too optimistic about getting rich, right? And not getting rich as in wealthy, having like resources that can accrue up. More like just money, having money that they don't know what to do with, and be out of luck. In my last reading, that I think this one is connected to because it was just a random lottery, so it could be like the SUV portion, and I'm going to attach the videos to the end of this one so that you can easily see it, right? Cataracts fell out. So the reason why cataracts fell out with this hood ridge is because most likely you're not thinking about your health, but a cataract is a film over your eyes, right? We can label that as a filter, but filters are usually, used to make things look better, but not in this case. Cataracts are blinding, and I think that's what it is. Like, this person is blinded by optimism with riches, and so they fell from grace. Now they're living paycheck to paycheck, being hateful, but having big hands, and in a sense asking for a lot. That's what I'm getting here. Asking for a lot. Okay, they may have a haircut or fade, but again, they're fading people. They faded maybe this blue-eyed individual who closed off to them, or this blue-eyed individual is closed off to this brown-eyed individual, one of which has facial hair. So let's see. Does the blue-eyed individual has facial hair? No, okay. So the brown-eyed individual has facial hair, and the blue-eyed individual doesn't. So I'm going to assume that the brown-eyed is a masculine as a man, and the feminine or the female would be blue-eyed here. Okay, right. Someone with street smarts, passive and docile, gun owner, naked mole rat. I'm going to say that this is the person with the cataracts, right? The blinded person, becoming hood rich, the queen that fell from grace, the blue-eyed person, right? So we're all going to put this synonymous with her. And I think it's important for us to understand that the color symbolism could be important here too. Blue is the symbol of like water, things washing, things flowing in, flowing out, things being able to contain life in a sense, right? But the fluidity of life, moving in flow and understanding flow, understanding current, right? So that's what we're getting by blue here. But when we speak on cataracts, it's kind of like the opposite of blue. Is the intense need for healing, is the intense need for calmness and pacificity. So I guess that's where we get this passive docileness in here, right? Because in order for you to do something, most people, you would have to use your senses to embark on the challenge. But if you're blinded, you're impaired. You have one less sense to help you with whatever you need to do. So what do? You become reclusive so that it's easier for you to ask for help. You gain street smarts. You hear me? You gain street smarts, and then possibly have to get a gun in order to protect yourself at the street marts, at the local marts. Learning your way downtown, walking fast. Faces pass, but you can't see them because of the cataracts. Okay. And then it says naked mole rat, bare skin. So usually this just means that you don't have a lot of hair, you don't grow a lot of hair. But in this, I saw a matrix, a rat of the matrix. So you're perpetuating the cycle of brown eyes. Perpetuating, and that's over here. Or the brown-eyed person is also naked. They're both. That's the frequency they're on. That's how they are aligned. They're both naked mole rats. They're both feeding off of the matrix. Okay. This is interesting. I'm sure the big hands go to the brown eyes if he's the male here. But is she the modest one? Let's see. Is she modest? No, it's the man that's modest here. Modest when haircut fade. When it comes to this blue-eyed gun owner that is, in a sense, closed off. So they're both being closed off. And it's interesting because she fell from grace, hating, blind, to being hood rich. She's an outsider and is in a bit of hardships, even though she's optimistic. Okay, hold on. There's no gang affiliation here, but there's someone that's a part of a Satanist cult. Okay. And there's someone here with pure intention. So the person that fell from grace is most likely average height. I got that by the card that just fell out over here. But the blue-eyed girl, she has pure intentions. No, she's part of the Satanist cult. But the brown-eyed man is in his north node with pure intentions. So he's closed off. No, she's closed off to him while he's engaging in his light. Okay. So, in essence, all this told me was that he's out here being chosen and he aggravated her demons. She's okay with being karmic. Wow. And this has to do with the SUV or truck. This has to do with the pregnancy. So the Peter Griffin is the girl in this sense? Yes. Okay. So that's why it was so interesting, because the absent-minded person that's ignorant and just is brainwashed to believe the American dream concept and play into it, like working day in and day out, thinking that they'll make it rich one day. That's what she believes, while mothering now the child of this chosen one, the father, this brown-eyed man, who understands that this may not be the ideal road for the future. And so an abortion needs to take place, but there's some kind of issue because the person that is pushing for the abortion confirmation is not the person that has to physically abort the child. So, stuck in a standstill here. Okay, so let's see. Should we do 1, a 2, a 3? Okay. Alright, so 3 trivia cards. 1, 2, 3. 1 on top, 1 in the middle, 1 on the bottom. The cards I picked up. So the first card we have, always have to wear a tight tube top that says bad girl, or earrings made of used tea bags. Okay, so the major point I get from this is, would you rather wear something that could be covered on a regular, or even though, you know, it's not in a positive light, it's something that's negative, but it can be concealed? Or would you prefer something that's a little bit more gaudy in your face and it be kind of repulsive? You know, since the tea bags are used, they can mold and, you know, drip and all this other stuff, create mess that is the focal point when anyone is looking at you. Okay, so that's what I'm getting here from A or B. And I'll leave this open for you to decide. I was not called to give judgment or ask you to assist me in calling in judgment. So we're just going to leave it open, okay? Would you prefer to have something negative be covered up? Or would you prefer your dirty laundry to be aired? Right? Okay, it goes honesty and integrity, or dishonesty and distrust. That's basically what you can get here. Right? What's synonymous with that? Okay. So then next we have number 2. Have your fingernails peeled off one by one, or put your mouth around a high-powered sprinkler for 15 minutes. Okay. So for one, both of them causes excessive pain. So we're not going to talk about the pain, because we'll say that the pain is equal. That's what will help us get to this conclusion quicker. We figure out what aspects of the question can be constants, right? Be made constant, unchanging, so that we can offer experimentation. Okay? So your nails peeled off one by one. You have 10 nails, right? Fingernails, because they specify fingernails. Or 15 minutes of a high pressure water in your mouth. Okay, so how long would it take to take a fingernail off one by one? Is that synonymous with 15 minutes? Let's say it takes 15 minutes to do both. Okay, so it takes 15 minutes to do both. It would give the same amount of pain. So would you prefer the ability to use your hands or the ability to use your words? Would you prefer the ability to physically cultivate confirmation, cultivate, create? Or would you prefer to be an orator, to speak on something, to offer your verbal acquisition to assist the collective or the audience or whomever this is intended for? Okay, so like whichever you choose, let's say you choose the fingernails, right? That's the one. Then that means that you would prefer speaking. You would prefer your voice, using your throat chakra, right? And if you said, oh no, do the sprinkler, okay, that means that you're choosing your hands, right? And you prefer being hands-on. You prefer, physically getting the work done. Okay, so you choose between those. And your hands have everything to do with your solar plexus, your heart chakra, and your root chakra. It could, if those three things are, a little bit out of whack and not in full alignment, your sacral chakra could be the full balancing act of it all. Like you can just only use your sacral chakra for creativity. But there's two different kinds of creativity. One that's centered with your sacral chakra, and that is based on your own soul's mission, your own hobbies, your own interests. And then you have the one that's your root, solar plexus, and heart chakra, and that has everything to do with assisting the collective, assisting your family members, your friends, and how things would affect them. You bring it to you. So the internal out and the external in. Okay. And then lastly, we have, would you prefer, or would you rather, as an NBA commissioner, institute a 2-second shot clock or 3 feet tall maximum height rule? So I could tell you off the bat that this last one that I have here, right, this one right here, institute a 2-second shot clock. So what you're doing is you're offering time constraints, right? Just generally time constraints, and you're constraining it. You are tightening the grip. Or 3 feet tall maximum height rule. Okay, so that means that you cannot break 3 feet in your lateral. So it screams freedom here. We are taking away freedoms. What freedom would you prefer? Would you prefer the freedom of like your mobility, or would you prefer the freedom of your time? Okay, would you prefer to go anywhere you like to, but you would have to do it on other people's time, and your time is not your own, right? Or would you, I'm sorry. Yes, okay. Or would you prefer to have all the time that you want, right? But you are like shackled. You are chained down. Your movements have to be okayed by other people. Your movements are dictated by others, right? And what I mean by others, I mean by a rule system or a structure that has been put in place. So with that one, I leave it open, just like the rest. Okay. Is there any more that we need here? Nope. Okay, so until the next, I'll see you soon.